What's up, everyone? Welcome to our sixth Epic 7 podcast featuring JaganX, Tiber, and Panshui. And I'm just going to have them introduce themselves from the top. So, Jagan, Tiber, Panshui, and they're just going to introduce themselves real quick.
Hey guys, this is Jagan. You may know me from YouTube or Twitch. Probably what I'm known for is my rampant screaming during summoning sessions, and also the meme and magic channel 6969. You guys watch those videos, you guys will know what I'm talking about. And probably my voice impressions. Anyways, I'm the leader of the Lords in Guild Wars. Currently, I feel really bad because the other guys here are top 20 guilds. But currently we're in 21, and that's it for me.
Hi guys, I'm Tiber. I am a mod on the official Discord. Everyone should look that up and join it, by the way. And I also help run Life, who is currently the rank 2 guild in global. By the way, Life is recruiting. Yep. So if you go to the in-game guild box and you go to like the message bubble that pops up, our Discord link is there. So join that, and there's instructions, etc., etc. That's all for me right now.
All right. So, hey, what's up? I'm Panshui. You guys may know me for mostly my in-team guild wars and my scuff units. You typically know me for as one of the tank top bros. My other brother is Jatai. And Life is also recruiting.
God damn.
Yeah, there we go. That's my boy.
What's up, guys? And as you guys may know, I'm X Sky King. For you guys that don't know, I just mainly stream on Twitch. I do have a YouTube too, but I'm just another Papega streamer.
Known for his
Mouse.
No.
No, don't say it. Anyways, all right, moving on. So, let's get started with today's podcast. First topic on stream. We're just going to talk about what are your thoughts on pets, pretty much. So, new pet system came out just today. What are you guys' thoughts on it for the battle pets, lobby pets? Let's just go over and just tell me your general thoughts first.
I mean, let me start. First thought, it's expensive. Very, very expensive. For how much of it as being a gold sink and the amount of money that you spend on this, it's ridiculous. I probably don't, like, for a small chance, I probably don't even think. I think this is what you're supposed to do, like, over time, not immediately. So you just buy, like, small amounts over time, and eventually you get enough to, like, just get what you want. But most of the time, it's probably best to, like, just start at low ranks instead of just going straight for the S. That's, like,
that resource output, like, it's not to the impact of like those extra unique artifacts, nor is it as impactful as the ego fragments, which I love. But pets, I think they bring an extra whale flex system to the game. You can roll for that special like 0.5%. I've got a lot of friends and guildmates who did that and spent many thousands, many tens of thousands of skystones doing that. Do not recommend. Please never do that. But the benefits, I mean, they're cool. I think it's nice that they gave a few tickets for free, just to make sure that everyone has a bonus, which makes PvE better. I like it a bit.
Yeah, I'm split on the pets. I kind of get that this feature is so rich and in depth that it's meant to kind of be a grind. So I'm with Panshui on that. Like I started summoning like a lot of pets, and I'm just realizing like it's to get where I want to be, I'm gonna have to use a lot more resources, and so I just started realizing that this system is not really what I want. I think a lot of the community has spoken out to say that they wanted like a repeat battle system. They're really excited about it, but it feels like this is like a totally different ecosystem, almost like a different game, like a mini game within the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it, and it's not really delivering on what people thought it would promise, which is mainly the repeat battle function.
Oh, the repeat battle was a bit disappointing. Like I thought I would be able to like purchase those like candy things with stigma. I thought we'd get them a lot easier than them taking up a drop spot.
Yeah.
Kind of a bummer. Because like it doesn't give you a free run, it doesn't give you something extra. It's just like saves you a couple seconds. So
Yep.
having a quantity, having a hard limit, well, soft limit rather, on how many of those you can use. I don't know. It feels like they've hyped this up so much. We've wanted it for so long, and now that oh, hey, this chance at this auto repeat feature is here, you can use it for about 10 minutes, and then you can't use it again
Yeah.
until
Yep.
you
Yeah.
magically get one, and then you're going to be half salty because that could have been gear, etc.
But then one of the things for me is like, I guess I actually feel like I don't mind this too much per se because of the fact that, so if you could buy the snacks with something that's readily available, like Stigma, I would still say because the 3 stars doesn't cost that much. The Stigma, you know, if you can buy snacks with that, I'd be okay with that. But I'm just worried. I don't want them to allow you to purchase the snacks with Sky Stones. Otherwise, it becomes very pay to win. Like having like a cap, I feel like is okay for me, because then it's like, let's say you're editing a video, you're doing something, you know, I can run like a slower A11 team, just set it on auto, and I'll just go through like a safe team that I know can guarantee the completion rather than running like a fast one-shot team. But then that was my main worry about that is if there was a Sky Stones and no hard cap or soft cap with a Skystone purchase of the snacks, then someone can throw in $1,000 or $2,000, buy an insane amount of those, and it's just like have like an iPad or something, just 24/7 farming. And when they're asleep, when they're, you know, so it's like they would just literally leave that on for 24 hours. I feel like that ruins, to me at least, that ruins the dedication part that people have spent to the game. Obviously, we know like, you know, there are some people who do use illegal programs out there, but I mean, like warranted, like things may or may not change with that. Like the same way how other games they have captchas for like energy refills. I'm hoping Epic 7 implements that in the future. So like at least if they are, you know, auto farming, they have to be there. They don't just, you know, they can't just leave it away, kind of thing. But
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So another thing is, I feel like for the pets, do you guys? So I know Panshui and Jagan expressed their thoughts on how it's a very big gold sink kind of thing. Do you guys feel like it's worth it to summon, you know, buy the gold ones this first week, to summon for like try to get even like an A rank pet or something, just so you have something to use, and then look for like a min max one over time, like a double S one with like the best thing you can get? Or would you say like the whole thing should be done over time, slowly?
Yeah, I think for this feature, I mentioned this before when I was like reviewing the system. I was saying that like if you're tracing this on like some kind of progression curve, it should be like the beginning part of it should be very heavy, as in dumping in a lot of gold, you know, buying all of the, you know, using all the stigma for the affinity levels, buying the cat food and whatever, the pet food rather, all that, and then over time, like you said, getting like the min max, getting what you want, like cater what you want. But I think the proper way, I think, should be, if you're going to dump any gold into it, it should be within the first week. So at least you get more benefits out of it, out of the skills from the pets itself.
It's like one of those systems that are it's meant to be long term, right? So like if you have any extra gold, like let's say you finish crafting but you still have some spare gold and you don't exactly know what to do with the, like let's say for example you start crafting but you have like 15 mil left, and you could use some money, like some of your gold, in order to like buy some pets. And that, and like in that sense, it's actually really nice to actually have pets, because then they'll benefit you in the long run, right? But what's very scary about these pets is that because they keep on introducing new gold sinks, but hunts isn't being improved by any means, it can get very scary, right? Because then like this is one gold sync that they just added, but then they're gonna add in like the gear synthesizing where you're supposed to put them together. Right? They literally we see one pet, the lobby pet, that has one with like gold increase when you sell equipment. But once the synthesizing comes out, are we really going to be sacrificing? Like, what are we going to do with our gear? Are we going to be selling them, or are we going to be like putting them in and just try to make new ones? Like, what's our like what should we do? Because either or, we're going to be losing gold, and I think there's like an imbalance there, and especially when gold, like to me right now, I just feel like you wouldn't be farming hunts at all unless it's the buff event. Otherwise, most of the time, not a lot of people would be like spending like all their energy to farm.
I agree with that. That's a big thing. Is we had the hunt buffs so frequently that now it seems like for most people, aside from people who are spending a lot to farm a lot, most people, the general populace, aren't really farming until hunt buffs appear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I have like almost like 30 energy sitting in my inbox. I collect them before like some of them run out. That's mainly it. Like I'm just waiting for the hunt buffs to show up before I start spamming more energy to actually farm. So.
Yeah. And they bring up an interesting point on the gold aspect of people doing adventure for hunts. But for people who are newer to the game and like, trying to strengthen their account, they're going to be spending that at an equal rate. And for those of us who are like very established in our accounts, we don't really have much stuff left to 6-star. Like almost my entire Pokedex is already 6-star max awaken, all that stuff. Like there's no motivation to do adventure at all. So not as realistic.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, aside from that, pets wise, probably gonna move on from that. Yeah, we'll move on that, and maybe we'll bring that back up when we see more of that, and if they decide to add or change new features there.
Cool.
All right. Second topic. This one's a bit of a bigger one, so this one might take a little while because we'll probably go over each character. I imagine we'll see, but hero balance changes. How do you think that will affect PvE/PvP content? So, how do you guys want to do this? Do you guys want to go down the list of characters from the patch notes, or?
Sure, and like maybe touch on PvP or PvE on each one. Like some of them are going to be a very clear cut. This is for PvP, or this is useless in PvP. So chronological might be easier.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right, let's pull that up, and let's just go from the top, from the patch notes. All right, so hero balance adjustments. Let's start with the first one. It's Tenebria. All right, let me hear your thoughts, guys.
Useless.
So yeah, it's you get a sleep and you get a slow for PvE. If you're using her because you don't have Vildred, etc., and you just want her to kill stuff. If you're killing them in PvE and trash waves, they're not going to be slept because they're dead.
Yeah.
PvP. Also, I feel like this kit is more catered towards moving to RTA, like this whole adding more CC, and that's the theme I got from this patch.
Yeah.
With a couple exceptions being Spez and Assassin Sid, but we'll get to those later. This meta, it feels water heavy when you're using it. Like you're using DC, you're using SSB. Defenses are mostly Charles based, and while Tenebria's fire, Charles is paired with things you don't exactly want to bring AoEs into.
Yeah.
I can't see Tenebria being used in PvP now, and I don't think this buff changes her role in PvE at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's honestly not much to follow up with that. Like, my main thoughts are really the same. Like, PvP wise, I don't see her being used. PvE, I mean, if someone likes her for PvE, like by all means, they can always 6-star and use her for like golems, hunts, adventures, and stuff like that. But PvP, it seems like she's not gonna have a big impact there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's more so that her element is the one that kind of hurts her the most. Just her being fire and it's currently being like an ice or water dominant meta really just takes a toll on her, especially for her just being more of like a disruptive unit than anything else.
Because I think the other thing is not even that, it's just also the fact that if you're planning to look for a fire unit to use, there are so many better alternatives now that have a better skill kit for like guild versus guild in PvP. Like as an offensive damage dealer, like Ken is probably like top, or Sermia. Like whether you want bruiser or nuker. If you're looking for like a tank half bruiser damage dealer again, there's always Lilius now still. So like,
I've been seeing a lot of Lilius.
I mean, she's good and annoying because like she's a fire unit that cleanses, so that kind of helps you with Seaside and Dizzy, because you can also use her as a tank to bait out those two units there, along with having like a provoke dual attack kind of thing. So I feel like Lilia's skill kit is actually very strong.
Yeah, she's really good.
And from like a defensive standpoint, we're starting to see Lilius come into play more and more.
Yeah.
Partially, I feel because the old meta, Charles SSB, CC, like it feels like it hasn't been that long, but people already have developed the counters to it. Like people know what to bring into it, so I don't think it's as strong now. Same with the Akoli meta. As much as it sucks to say,
hey, don't say it. Don't say it. She has her comeback with the Imprint. We'll talk about that later.
But Ilias having that good synergy with units like Charles, with units like Dizzy, things that are in the meta or very powerful with an Abyssal Dizzy, like that's annoying. It might not win you a game, but it'll cost your opponent some some blood pressure. It'll cost them some years off their life. And I think if you can lock those in for RTA, it's too early to tell what the meta will look like.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at forming an early RGB core, if you're looking at having units that can do multiple things or be impactful in multiple scenarios, just in case they pick a unit that you wanted, I think Lilius is the superior option by far. Yeah.
All right.
Tenebria sucks. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. All right, next one down the list. This one's gonna be a big one for a lot of people. But Specimen says,
"Oh man."
All right, take the floor, guys.
Oh, dirt.
I'll go first. I don't have Specimen Says. I've actually wanted Specimen Says even before his buff because I mean he's a good nuker. I get the setup and I get why people didn't like him, but now I think he's like he will cause a lot of problems for RB comps. I mean, if you can get Oxlots in there, and then Specimen Says, I mean, it's pretty much game over. Especially if you could bait away like the one of their other damage threats. So, like Specimen Says, man, I think he's like, he kills on S3, he resets the cooldown. I think they should remove that, to be honest, because right now I think he's a bit too OP. But that's my thoughts.
Fair enough.
For sure. The biggest apprehension that I had with Spez, and the reason why we kept giving Derp so much crap every time he tried to use it, is that in Arena, like you can tackle things so many different ways, but in Guild Wars, like you want to have the most clinical team possible. Anything that has a single win condition, unless it's straight damage, like an Oxlot's Warrior thing, which can be confirmed, it's not very ideal because you can say it's just a 15%, but 15% is a lot. Like if you're winning 85% of your guild wars, like try to improve that. But like now, extinction being so rare, like just having Lilibit, and now getting a different element, not only a different element, a neutral element in Spez is just insane. And another thing I've noticed in the Guild War meta right now is that because people have figured out the Cecilia meta, people are starting to experiment a lot more with Arbiter Vildred again and Maid Chloe. And it's the Maid Chloe rotation now. So I think Spez is in a very, very good spot post buff. Like it's insane. I also do agree with the removal of the skill reset cooldown for sure. I think that doesn't need to be there at all.
Yeah.
I can agree with what you guys say there.
Question about that. Tiber and Panshui, do you guys have spez?
Unfortunately, I do not. I'm a disgrace to life. I'll show myself off.
Kick!
I
I'm
do
just
not.
kidding. Panshui?
I don't.
Okay, so none of us actually have spez to...
We haven't been blessed.
We haven't been blessed. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh well. I think one of the biggest things is
Yeah.
so how would you guys tackle someone running a spez offense, or let's say someone running a spez, if they decide to run some sort of spez defense that cheeses you? Like, for those two situations, like, let's just go over someone trying to run a spez offense. Like, so in this case, with spez countering Reviver's hard now in that situation, what would you do there first? Let's just talk about someone running him on offense first. Like, what do you feel like would be a valid defense that, sort of works against him a little bit more?
I personally think only Assassin Sid and Assassin Kali, to
Mhm.
be honest. You have to, it's a gear check. You have to beat their Ox slots. I don't think anyone else can tank that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Assassin Kali, Assassin Sid probably number one.
Mhm.
Assassin Koli is a hard gear check for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Assassin Sid, while I think his new kit is interesting and phenomenal, I
Mhm.
don't see him being used in Guild War on defense because you get slot syndrome, like he doesn't do enough. And if you counter one specific thing,
Yeah, that's true.
oftentimes people will find that you are weak to everything else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Assassin Sid is in that case.
Mm.
You'd have to have some sort of threat that threatens him out. Like oftentimes, I will try to avoid using a Lilius against an Arbiter Vildred comp if they're pairing it with something that can kill my Lilius, like a Charles countering and proccing into me.
Mhm.
Well, she's got the skill nullify, but you know what I mean. Like a threat where your DPS can be targeted. So I don't
Okay.
know. It's also hard because he's the same element as a lot of the key beefy tanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, in a situation where you see him on defense, which I don't know how likely people are going to be using that yet, we'll see. What would you think you would do? Because, I mean,
It would depend on what he's paired with, right? Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know the full defense. Hard to say. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
hard. Yeah.
think single target DPS comps in general succeed.
Mhm.
You either need to stack a threat, and by that I mean having a double elements
Mhm.
of the same elements, where they would be attacking the same target. For example, a Koli TC,
Mhm.
a Koli a Ravi, where even if they're bringing
Light
a
bait.
dedicated tank, there would be too much damage in theory for them to handle it and
Yeah.
they'd
Yeah.
win. But if you're running something as squishy as Spez and someone as slow as Spez, you don't
Mhm.
have an Oxlots to pair with on defense. I don't see it working out because you're going to want support E kind of units
Mhm.
alongside that Spez. And the issue with a single target light unit is that Ascard comes into play
Yeah.
in that specific instance, and that's just a hard shutdown. You will not win.
If you have if you had like it depends what they're paired with, but you could totally like just bait them with Sven, and that would be like game over for that
True?
Spez team.
Wow.
Sven, yeah.
True?
Got a fully awakened 6-star Sven too.
What?
Shout out to Jatai that we actually saw that early on. Where he used a level 30, I think he used a level 30 Sven, and he literally just baited out everybody.
Wow.
Derp tried following Jatai's footsteps. He used a Sven, and the Sven took so much damage that it killed his Carmen. He was like, wait, why am my Carmen dead? Why am my Carmen? Oh. Like 34k hits. And then
Okay, so what's the take back from this? If you use Sven to bait, make sure your Zaven can, take at least a bit of damage in the beginning.
And don't bring an
Or-
Aureus.
Just don't use Aureus.
Or just don't use Aureus.
a low level Aureus. Okay, don't use a high level one.
Oh man. Oh, that's pretty funny. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, I
High
didn't think
elo
about that.
gameplay. Life is recruiting, by the way.
Yeah, silvers. All right. So next unit, Dominion, 4-star Ice Mage. Thoughts?
Again, more of the focus on like this crowd control-y RTA style kit. I'm not a personal fan because like if it was 100%, maybe,
Yeah.
but I don't mess around with RNG chances. I don't think that's a good idea to use on
Yeah.
offense.
Mhm.
On defense, same thing. She just becomes, in my opinion, an inferior Dizzy in terms of her crowd control potential.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Just run Dizzy on Abyssal, and you're way more with Lilius, and you're infinitely more annoying than what Dominion can. Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I do agree with that. Like, her skill kit looks nice. That they gave her those changes as a 4-star. So like, I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to use that in arena, I would say people have the chance to now. I feel like she can be used there, but in Guild Wars, it's too big or too high of a risk for you to run that. So,
Mhm. And maybe that'll change with RTA. Like crowd control is very,
Yeah.
very powerful in that scenario. And looking at her kit, she's similar to like a Varad, the water dragon from Summoner's War, if you've
Yeah.
played it. That's particularly powerful, but I don't think I'd personally dedicate a slot to it.
mm.
We'll see.
But Rad is a little stronger in that sense. Like,
A lot stronger.
a lot stronger, considering he has 2 full.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's 100% for his stun and pushback, and he also deals a lot of damage.
Yeah. Anything to add on that, Panshui? I mean, this one's pretty straightforward, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's just more so like Reflect is an odd buff. We haven't exactly seen many units that actually has that kind of
Mhm.
like buff at all.
Yeah.
And the way that it's actually applied is based on Dominiel's like maximum HP. But when you think about it, mages don't have any HP to begin with.
Yeah.
Right. And like the thing that's really weird about it is because since it's based on HP, so let's say for example you start stacking defense, like it doesn't if you stack on defense trying to make a unit tanky, that basically means that you're not going to be dealing a lot of damage based on the deflect. So it's like it's odd. It's a very odd buff.
Yeah, and it could work. Like we've had so my guildmates have reflect cheesed with things like Terranor Royal Guard in the past in Guild Wars even. We're just like, don't do it, and they're just like, nah, I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna try.
It worked. It actually did work. I don't know how, but it worked. But it brings up the same point. Like, if we're talking about units relative to one another,
Mhm.
if we're looking at water units that can soak up damage and dish it back, why not Crow?
Mhm.
If you're looking at a water unit to just soak up damage and support your other DPS, why not an Idol's Cheer Angelica, stuff like that? Like,
Yeah.
in every instance of every meta, there have been better water units. I don't see them being used in that
Yeah.
instance.
Okay. All right.
Metafrog. Yep.
Next unit, Rin.
Greater attack buff.
Greater attack buff, RNG attack buff.
RNG greater attack buff.
I've seen Rin being used a decent bit in PvE. Like during the first Abyss expansion, some people pulled Rin out. I always thought she was good. I don't think she particularly carries you in any way. I don't recommend it in any PvP setting. You're not really bringing healers on arena offense because that's too slow. And if you are, because you're using Dark Corvus, why not bring Momo? In a Guild War offense setting, why not bring Momo? In a defensive setting, why not bring Momo?
Okay, fair enough.
Like Soul Weavers that don't revive, I find hard to justify.
Yeah.
At this moment in time, especially since Like back in the day, like people said, "Oh, just use Angelica." Not everybody had Angelica.
Yeah.
Momo's a 3-star. Like you don't really have much of an excuse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it hard for Rin to compete in that regard, but she's good. If she's your waifu, use her. I will have no complaints.
Just like me, I use her in Guild Wars.
Yeah, yours is a little bit more of a scuffed version of her.
Well, what are you talking about?
But yeah, I do agree. Like honestly, like this buff for her, really, I feel like she's more still, like she's still no matter what to me a PvE unit. I wouldn't bring her in an arena or Guild Wars offensive setting. Not, I can't imagine a moment where I would. And right, like I've always told my viewers this on defense. If you're running a healer that doesn't revive, anyone who targets you in mid or higher level Guild Wars, to them, they isolate that healer. They don't worry about it. They focus on killing the other two or the main threats. And after that, they can just tap the auto button.
Yep.
And you're done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in this case, you're not really going to be bringing a healer to defense there. Okay. All right, here's another one. Interesting one that we got. Assassin Sid. I mean, it's an interesting buff because they gave his skill 3
It's cool.
and
It's
evasion,
really cool.
an evasion chance, and it removes 20 souls from your opponent. So it's a good cheese, I would say, in that situation. But ideally, my thoughts are you're not really running him for defense. Unless you have like a 270 or 281 that it's hard for people to outspeed you even with the speed imprint.
I mean, you're not going to be running him offense because then you're versing an AI that isn't going to utilize souls. So
Yes.
the only way that you can use them is in defense.
So I feel like
To
what Tiber was saying is like, right, like all of this is leading slowly more towards RTA now.
yeah, it's to prevent the Taga Hells, which is a very strong artifact.
Yeah.
Book is like when a lot of so for those that aren't aware, like the life Discord chat also is like a little refugee camp for a lot of the other top guilds. We all just hang there and talk to each other. And
troll.
one of our big and troll, yeah, true. And one of our big worries for RTA was specifically book.
Mhm.
Like when Paul, I don't know how many people are know about him, but like when he was talking to us and we were discussing RTA mechanics and what we would like to see when it does come out, like book itself was the main issue, not everything else, just book. And something so strong being completely shut down by this unit, I think is interesting.
Yeah.
In Guild War defense, I think is useless. I would not recommend it at all.
Yeah.
Like as
Because I think the
crippled
biggest thing
as-
is if someone sees an assassin sit on defense, the first thought is he's going to be fast. So you're not going to try to challenge him in a speed battle unless you're very confident you can outspeed. And even then, if you want to be safe, right, it's against a tough guild, it's going to be a close battle, you want to be safe, you might as well run a bruiser team that isn't going to utilize book as much or souls as much. Then you can just bruiser his team instead.
Exactly. And I can bring any light tank. Assassin Sid will not deal as much damage as a Coley would. I will bring any light tank. I can even bring Ruel as my dedicated light tank, and then she will kill 2 birds in 1 stone.
Yeah.
She'll be my healer. She'll be my cleanser. She'll be my tank. I don't think Assassin Sid is worth it on defense in arena. It's too new. We don't know yet.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think one of the things. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, we spent there's a member of my guild. He had a really good assassin Sid, like very well built. That a couple of I would say the guild rank around ours. When they fought him, they were surprised because I think they went for a light tank, but it hit so hard. He ended up like winning a lot. When the buffs were announced, he was the first one to be like, hey, I'm gonna rebuild them again. Like he did like eventually swap his gear for Assassin Kali. It fit her really well too. But yeah, after thinking about it, like if you're gonna try to benefit from the soul steal, I started thinking about like all the defense comps, and he was thinking with me as well, and we couldn't figure out something that would be better than Assassin Kali.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in that way, I agree with Tiber that I don't think he's gonna be seen in defense.
Yeah, I think
The
one of the
skill one
things. Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt real quick.
Oh, yeah, good.
I think one of the biggest things that I felt like giving a defense break on skill 1 is good, but his passive I felt like was what might have been needed to be changed or amended the most, because his passive throughout the whole time I felt like wasn't really. It felt a little useless in that sense. I felt like.
So our experience with Assassin's Sid in life, only a few of us have invested in him and used him, Wombo being one of them. And how they would use it would be like an Oxlot's Watcher Shuri Assassin Sid kind of comp, where you would snipe one target and then Assassin Sid would get the push up and attack buff himself from his passive, and then he'd snipe something else.
Okay.
So it did a lot of damage, and that was one of their big answers to the old metas, because a lot of defenses for the longest time, whether it was the RGB meta or the Reviver meta, it was focused on double threat support.
Yeah.
Just as an example, Ken Crowd Estina. You have 2 bruisers and you have a support. So the idea that you would kill 2 things guaranteed, and then a support isn't going to 1v3 you, it was a way to have safe guild wars. So I feel like it's sort of a bummer that job like it splits people's attention.
Yeah,
like they don't know which way to build their Assassin's Sid, either super fast or stick with the damage.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see if he pops up on Sunday defense.
Yeah, maybe someone will find an interesting team or build with him that will end up surprising us, and then we may or may not see more of him if that's the case.
Yeah.
He does have the second highest base speed in the game, right?
Yeah.
So like maybe being really fast, deterring that Judge Kisei cleave. We'll see.
All right, next one, another interesting one. Champions Rado.
Yeah, man, this is great.
Go for it. Let's hear your thoughts, guys.
I'll go first, since I'm not talking about like all the crappy heroes, I guess. Yeah. So from my experience, I think ML Zerato like originally was like already really good. I built him really tanky, very slow. Had a couple showcase videos on him, and the people started asking about his build and what's best. When his buffs came out, I think people are still trying to figure him out. I myself, I think he should definitely be built as a bruiser. Now his base defense is high, so that's really good, but his HP as a mage is not that high. I'm seeing like, I'm seeing top players like building him, and I don't think they have really figured him out yet. I think just today on Reddit, there's this video. I think it's gonna go viral, but if it hasn't already, ML Zerato soloing Banshee 11 and Azimanic 11, and it just shows how like good he is. I think on offensive, I think for PvE, it's no problem. Like if he can solo those 2 hunts, I think he could do a lot. For PvP, I think on an offensive team, he would be great. On a defensive team, I can't see him getting enough stats, either like tankiness wise or like attack, like offensive. I can't see him being that useful there. But I think for so on defense he's not that good, but on offense I think he has a lot of potential now. But I think more experimenting needs to be done.
Yep.
Giving people more options to clear PvE, I think, is amazing. For newer players trying to get into it, or for older players who are really bored and want to try something new. I think that's phenomenal. Like, I think the solo Hunt 11 is great. I love it. I definitely agree with everything Jagan said. Like on defense, so one thing that I tend to do is in arena, I will like, if people see me attack them with a 3-man and a Phantasma, like I'm not trying to BM, I'm testing stuff out.
Okay, so just noted, if you guys see that, And just know he's not disrespecting you.
Yeah, and if you see DN, SSB, Dizzy, Carmen, that means I'm autoing. I'm sorry. But,
Okay.
but like Champions Zerato did nothing. Just straight up, he did absolutely nothing. And in a Guild War setting where he would maybe be used more, a dark unit that's not a Koli really struggles for me, and or a Ravi if you have one that deals a lot of damage. I don't see it being used that often. In the old debuff meta, with like in the sort of tail end where ML Zerato was released,
Yeah.
and ML Aura was still a thing. Cray or Solara, however you want to call him, however you know him by, he jumped on the Champion Zerato train immediately. He loved it to death. And anytime someone would draw against a tower that had an ML Aura on it, he'd be like, yo, 5-star ML Zerato wins you this fight. How dare you? He used to be a very good pocket pick counter into those debuff heavy teams. And now he just becomes a really solid supporty bruiser kind of thing because he packs so much utility.
Yeah.
They've got debuffs now. You have debuffs now on your side working for you. That's really cool to me. And also an armor breaking mage. That's kind of cool. I don't know. And being neutral element, like Tenebri doesn't count. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Because do all you guys have Champion Zerato?
Yes.
God dang it. When he came out, I was like, oh, this guy looks pretty cool. I'm going to sell him for him. Didn't get him. I'm like, okay, don't worry. I'll get him soon eventually. Still don't have him to this day. So if I ever get him, I'll try him out. But man, it's one of the units aside from Assassin Cartuja that I want.
Oh, you don't have S card?
Shut up. That's the other unit that the Assassin Cartuja has been haunting me since freaking Season 2 Arena.
I'm sorry, man.
God dang that RNG. But all right, I feel like we'll see probably more Champions Zeratos, whether it's with bruiser teams or on defense. I feel like honestly people are gonna try him on defense.
I really can't see it.
Really?
I mean, at least I don't think so. Him on a defense team, I'm not 100% sure about that.
I just don't think that he could establish himself like quick enough before he just died.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like
He will just die.
Like he just wants to, like, if ML Zerato could toss out his S3 as soon as possible and get his defense up, amazing. But in this case, I don't think he's like that unit that you would actually build him to be super fast just so that he could just get his defense up.
Okay.
At that point, he's just not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, fair enough. Next one, Elson.
My boy.
I mean,
What? I hate his face, man.
Wait a minute.
I hate his voice.
My boy.
I mean, okay. To be fair, it looks like it's like the pre nerf
Yeah.
Elson to me. Like, you know, it's I don't really find him. It's another PvE unit now at this point, in my opinion, that you can get for free from connections.
Yeah.
I mean, for people who are maybe newer to the game and don't know, like, what we used to call the Holy Trinity was pre-nerf Icarus, pre-nerf Tierra, and pre-nerf Elson.
Yep.
Epson chat for Tierra. Oh, she was so good.
Yeah.
What was it? Insane damage because of HP scaling, armor break, combat readiness, and she was really fast too. Right?
Yeah, she's really fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a god. Anyway, Elson, I think this provides more utility to newer players because you get Elson very early on in the game, and his kit is very strong. He's everything you'd want in a supportive team in one unit. That's really cool. But in the regards of, like, you know, where most people are in the game right now, why not Momo? You know,
it always comes back to that. Why not Momo
really
now?
does.
Like,
it really does. Like, in my personal opinion, I think that's part of the reason why Charles is so strong. He's just another check, and why I'm starting to see some violets come back. Just put anything to put pressure on Momo because she's just so good. If I had to put one most impactful unit, actually, I don't know, SSB or Momo. A lot of people have
Both are.
both of them, and they're used everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
F's in chat. He's still good though. If you really like Elson, or especially if you're a new player, use Elson.
If you're so unlucky to not pull Momo as a 3-star, then no, Elson's not a bad choice.
Let's put it this way: you can use Elson to complete the quests to do Momo specialty change. Like that's it.
Okay, fair enough.
I will say one thing about Elson. This is mainly for my viewers, so they would know this, but I hate Elson so much before just because he was so good. And so every time in the past, whenever I could kill Elson, and when I mean kill, it's like it takes forever because he's so good. I always loved him screaming. It's like Sorry, I had to do voice impressions. All right, anyway, sorry.
All right. Well, spot on. If I would say so myself, if anything, I think that was probably the actual voice actor for Elson. I wasn't expecting that, but I didn't know you hated Elson that much.
I hate him so much. Everybody who knows, I hate his face, man. He looks like Justin.
Whoa! Wait, he's Canadian. We're both gonna. Yo! Wait a minute. Oh man.
192 guy. New notification sound boy.
Actually, for my new follow. Whew. Oh man. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Arrowell. What are you guys' thoughts? Aside from wannabe Fallen Cecilia.
That is my thought. Wannabe Fallen Cecilia.
Yeah.
That's the story.
Budget light tank.
Okay.
Budget, like the budget of all budgets.
Yeah, budgets of all budgets. That's basically what it is.
Elson's better.
I don't know. Maybe actually.
Yeah. It doesn't change what she would do, and I don't think she brings enough to the table to be used literally anywhere, even in PvE.
Yeah.
When we first saw her kit, for the people who moved from Summoner's War to Epic 7, because Epic 7 is the Summoner's War port, we were very excited because she shares a kit with Kamun, the Fire Anubis from Summoner's War, who they are identical in their kit, almost identical except for the skill 1. But Kamun did damage, and Arrowell, her base stats
are too low.
Way too low. It's not impactful. Single target shield doesn't do anything. They will either kill through it or leave it alone, and it doesn't do anything. Don't use it.
Fair enough. Anyone else have anything to add for Arrowell before we move on to Mabe Mursa?
I didn't even know she got a buff, so
move on.
Okay, all right. So, wait, question. Which one of you guys have Assassin Cartuja? All 3 of you, I bet.
Yes.
I hate all of you.
Sorry.
All right. So, people with Mursa buff. Thoughts?
One of the more interesting ones this patch for sure.
I feel like it's really strong, in a sense. Like I've been testing Mursa pre-buff for last couple of weeks now. I've been running her as like a bruiser with roughly about like 200 something speed. And because the main thing is, the way I see it is, especially with this buff now, is people aren't going to focus her. If they do, they have a hard time killing her. So I want to give her a bit of health along with some damage mitigation, whether it's Aureus or Adamant Shield. So if they do miss, she won't die that easily. She'll take very little damage. And once she pops off and gets her speed buff, essentially, like once she gets that speed buff on her, she'll start doing a lot more in terms of work there. And then,
are you talking on defense or offense?
On defense, actually. So I've been trying her on defense there. The main thing for me though was like the fact that before you had to lose HP to get the evasion buff was such a annoying thing that it's almost like as if you weren't able to use her.
Out of curiosity, who would the Aureus user be? Or the protection be for?
I was running Adamant Shield on Lilius with her. I mean, I was trying a team with like Lilius Dizzy along with
Dizzy.
Mursa. So then I'll run a fast Dizzy at roughly, I think last time I had her switch, I had her 244 speed along with the Mursa 8 speed imprint for her. So running Violin, she would strip first into Dizzy. Oh, sorry, Dizzy into Lilius. And then after that is kind of like, depending on who they run, disrupt and push back kind of thing.
Just trying to think of what I would bring into that
I mean,
to counter. Because there's no sustain in that kind of comp.
Yeah, there's no sustain in that. The thing is, like, the last few Guild Wars that I've seen where people have like fought against it, like Mersa is okay, but she didn't do enough. Like her damage wasn't enough, and she didn't invade enough. But with this buff, I'm gonna see how she is.
She'll evade more, but like, could I not bring an immunity set Destina, an Ascart, and any safe DPS?
Like a bait to bait out the Mersa, right?
Yeah, like Ascart, and or like a Luna, for example, because
Yeah.
Luna banner, by the way.
Okay, all right.
The way things would go would be Lilius doing Dizzy, landing all the debuffs onto Ascart and Luna, because I'm not going to waste immunity sets on either, because I don't use either.
Yeah.
And then Dizzy would cleanse everything. Ascart will armor break either Dizzy or Lilius, probably Dizzy for me. And then Luna will kill with armor break. That Ascart. Mersa will always attack into Ascart, do nothing. Lilius will always attack into Destina, and with an Idol Shear Destina, it's just going to push up Luna more. Luna will eventually kill Lilius, and then you just click auto.
Yeah. There's like a few situations that I was like talking to friends about that, where like I was thinking of switching out the other units. Like if I had Assassin Cartuja, I'd probably be running him with Marissa more so. But it's like I've been trying to think so much about that because I don't have that Assassin Cartuja to run that extra evasion chance along with a stun defense break kind of thing. Because then the biggest thing is on the team, there's no defense break to help them do more damage, which is my biggest thing. It doesn't add enough threat. So, but I'll see how that works this time along with the evasion buff. What are your guys' thoughts? Sorry, that was pretty much just my experience with that. Because I know Panshui has also been testing Mersa.
I got shot down from our overlord. Basically. So I didn't get to use her, but I think there was another one where I think we were like joking about it for a while. Was that we actually saw your defense in action and you got beat by Mini Frep.
Okay.
I think there was that, and she beat your Mersa defense, and I was like, oh.
To be fair, that was
right.
That was when my Mersa. that was when I was running my Mersa at 8k HP with 240 speed, and that's when I was like, okay, Mersa's a little too squishy there. She's not gonna work well. So that's when I switched her to the Bruiser build. But the Bruiser build seems like it was a little bit stronger, but except for the fact that the no defense break and stuff like that. Also, you got shot down. That's sad. You didn't even get to test it.
Yeah, I got shot. I didn't get a test there. I was trying to get a lifesteal Mersa, lifesteal with immunity going.
Yeah. Because
I thought that would be really interesting, but eventually, after seeing what happened to you, I was like, you know what?
Whoa, yeah. Oh, okay.
I had to stop completely.
Okay, fair enough.
I ended up scratch the project, and I was like, okay.
Glad we're using.
Go next. I still got my dogs.
Okay.
That's funny. Like a big thing that we focus on is like trying to avoid like gimmicky kind of units.
Yeah.
Things that seem really cool but would be hard to pull off.
Yeah.
I don't think she will become meta, at least. I think she's definitely a fun toy that'd be fun to play around with.
Yeah.
But I don't think she'll have a strong place in any of the meta games, in Arena, PvP, Guild Wars, etc.
Fair enough. Do you have anything to add to that, Jagan, on your thoughts? Have you ever seen, tested, or whatnot with Mersa?
No, I never. Like everybody was just like, "Oh, look, she looks amazing. It looks crazy. What do you think?" And I'm like, I don't know of any top guild running a cart on defense. That's number one. So then if you put Mersa on that, I don't know. Like it just probably makes the defense team maybe worse. I just don't see it doing enough. Like I don't see it being enough of a threat. So like the team you proposed there, it's like it's just basically tanking and taking damage over time. I don't see it being a threat. So I don't think that, like, I wasn't even interested in it. Like I saw the Evasion. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But eventually you're gonna grind her down. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And on the note of Guild War defenses, Asgard has fallen off compared to where he was in the past. Violet is more common if we're talking about evasion sheaves, but he is typically used as a standalone without Asgard. Just as extra pressure. I've seen him with Assassin Coley Ruel. I've seen him with Lilius Dizzy. Stuff like that. Interesting, because again, like going back to the old point, it's pressure for Momo. But another thing is that in general in Guild War defense, people have gotten so good at attack that like people know what they're doing now for the most part.
Yeah.
So like it's harder and harder to lose an offense.
Yeah.
So the things that people go for primarily are high threat defenses that will kill someone's unit.
Yeah.
So that they cripple them as they go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Akoli is so much stronger than the other variations. So I don't think Mercer deals enough damage to warrant a spot in that regard. But I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one, Corvus. Got a pretty big, lengthy change there.
They only changed his.
Sorry?
I believe they only changed S3, and then they changed wording of everything else.
No, so his skill 1 is changed to the fact that when he's enraged. So when he's enraged now, his damage is increased, and it sounds like from what I read on the patch notes, the enemy is stunned for 1 turn guaranteed. I don't know if that's right or not.
That was basically what the effect on the S3 was previously. They just basically moved it over from the S3 over to the S1 to make it less confusing, I believe.
Oh, okay. I see. So they moved everything in that sense. Okay.
Yeah, they just moved everything.
Okay.
I think the only difference is that doesn't he now get a 30% effect resistance, or did he always have that?
He didn't.
He did not have that. That's new. I think that's new.
Yeah, so I think in his rage mode now he has 30% more defense, 30% more effect resistance.
Yeah.
And then he still gets the defense buff after going in rage. So other than the fighting spirit, is it what it's called? Yeah, fighting spirit. Other than it consuming 100, I don't think anything else is nerfed. I think
he doesn't gain fighting spirit when he is attacking now, I think.
Really?
The old one says acquires 10 fighting spirit when attacking or attacked, and the new one is gains 10 fighting spirit when attacked.
I don't think he gets a defense buff anymore after the enrage on skill 3 now, right? It's not. He doesn't get a defense buff.
Yeah, no defense buff. So that's
okay.
So his skill 3 was the big change.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets it off. He's not healing as much, and everyone's using SSB. You have more time to rack up your souls, get that convenient soul burn S3 off right before he uses his once every so often S3. And then it does nothing, and then he's dead. Meh. I don't think Corvus is as viable now, which sucks because he was used by so many people so many different ways on offense and defense, and I think he was a bit too common and too strong for an elemental 4-star. But I do think this is not a Tierra level nerf. He's still functional. He can still cheese certain teams, but I don't think he's worth the investment compared to before.
Yeah,
because like before we'd see him possibly against certain team combos, he could essentially solo them.
Yep.
Especially on offense, which was a big yikes.
Super yikes. Super yikes.
So I feel like this was warranted. I mean, I saw the nerf coming, in my opinion.
Sure.
But thankfully, I guess like he wasn't nerfed back to the ground where like he's unusable. If people are really lacking a fire unit, they could still make use of this. He'd still be okay, but he wouldn't be the best.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations. Okay. I mean, that's pretty much all the heroes. So that's it for topic 2. That was a lengthy topic.
That was long.
Yeah. So third topic here, let's go move straight on, is ML Crozet. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys have him yet? And are you guys thinking
Do I
of
have
building
him
him?
yet? I'm not
I-
that much of a way.
I pulled him recently because then I was trying to pull for the artifact. What is
Yeah.
it? The Draco armor, and I got like an ML summon, and I pulled him there, but I never tested him yet. So I would like to say I give no comment. So I'm probably gonna read up on it right now.
Okay.
My
mean-
thoughts is sorry.
No, you go
You
ahead.
sure?
Go ahead. Yeah.
My initial thoughts is like I think he brings like with SSBs like passive like shearing to the frontliner. Crozet ML Crozet kind of brings like another aspect to that, of course. I don't have him yet, and I don't even know if I really want to build him.
Mhm.
If I even do get him, not until further testing is done. So yeah, like Panshui, I don't think I'm gonna be speaking on it too much. I just say that it can bring about some interesting, I think, more GVG offense comps.
Mhm.
On a defense, I'm still kind of half on this. I don't think he brings enough. Not like Lilius, not like Crow. He doesn't bring enough of a threat in that aspect.
Mhm.
Yeah, it depends on who he's paired with. But I think offensive comps, I think you could bring. I think he can make some interesting attack comps.
Mhm.
We don't really have anybody who's tested it yet, so like they said, we can't really say for sure. But on paper, at least I'll say for now, with a grain of salt, that's subject to change.
Mhm.
Skill one, the fact that you can soul burn to actually get him to a I
100%.
think it's a 100% chance to stun for 10 souls.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar to Asarius. Stun and Armor Break are the two most impactful debuffs in this game, and having a guaranteed one, you're not going to use it very often, but it's nice to have, I guess. He strikes me as an incredibly supportive Aureus unit.
Yeah.
Like, granted, one of the key meta damage sources right now is SSB, who has an inherent Aureus. I don't think that's very useful.
Mhm.
But it does scale up to
40%.
what was it like 40? Like that is insane.
Yeah.
That's incredible protection, the most protection any individual unit can give. And he also cleanses on top of that.
Yep.
Cleanse has always been very important, primarily from an RTA standpoint. So I think that might be where they're going for in that. The two of the most meta support E kind of units in some as well RTA, ever since its release, have been Veladrul and Usa, who provide protection from debuffs.
Mhm.
His cooldown is a bit long for that, but what's interesting is that he has this new mechanic called like that class enhancement kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Has there been like a posted list anywhere of like what the buffs are for each class?
It
Yeah.
tells you. So for Thief, Warrior, Ranger, and Mage, so those 4 classes, they get crit hit resistance. For Knight and Soul Weaver, they get a barrier proportional to the caster's max health.
Never mind.
It's not that amazing, his class enhancement
Yeah.
element. I feel like
Really not.
it's gonna make the most impact for a lot of people that have, unfortunately, to put it this way, Arbiter Villaged or ML Ken. Because those are the two units that bring the most threat right now as a standalone point that you want to get rid of really quickly, whether it's Lilibet or just pure nuking with Watcher Shri on ML Ken. But with ML Crozet possibility of being able to help tank that damage for you, for example, Watcher Shri is a light unit, ML Crozet's a dark unit, there's always that. Another extra unit to stun or just to like take aggro. Along with the fact that it's a 40% Aureus. I feel like that can be really strong in protecting people
sure.
who have, if they're running like a SSB, sorry, not SS, Fallen Cecilia, along with Crozet to keep those units alive, which I feel like it may be a little bit annoying to kill certain people in Arena or something like that nowadays with that, if they decide to run that, that's all.
In Arena for sure. Yeah. In Arena defense, it'd be a very annoying pocket protection.
Yeah. In Guild versus
defense.
Guild, it's like, I feel like it fills the same roles as like running a non-reviving healer. He'll be annoying but you kind of put him to the side. You ignore him. He's not going to do that much to the team.
For sure. If I were to see like a Fallen Cecilia, ML Crozet, Arbiter Villager team on a Guild War defense, a triple dark defense, which is already red flags for me, I would want to clearly Lilibit. That would be my first instinct to go to. And the fact that this actually happens to me, one of my draws this month was me running a Clury Lilibit into an Arbiter Villager with Fallen Cecilia, and Clury got resisted.
Yeah.
My 180 effectiveness Clury got resisted. Arbiter Vildred resisted. Of course, and there's that 15%, right?
Yeah.
Like anything that forces an RNG check on offense is a +1, in my opinion. I don't think it'll be that viable, especially not both ML Crozet and Fallen Cecilia. But I don't know. I think he's a really, really good pocket.
Yeah, I think that's something we'll have to wait, because like, I mean, it just came out. We'll have to wait for certain people. There's going to be people who's going to tank him, build him up and use him in higher levels, like just for fun. And we'll see how that works when that happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna try pulling for him for sure.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys know when I pull him. It's gonna happen. Yeah.
Okay.
So on that thought, I need to be right back for like 1 small minute. You guys can continue.
Okay. So we'll just start this topic without Panshui. I mean, this will. I don't think this will go on too long, but what are your guys' thoughts and impressions on the Luna Rerun banner and Draco plate from players who have been playing for a little while now?
I'm gonna jump in here.
Okay, go for it.
This one, man, like, okay, even right now, like Draco plate is such a good artifact. Like it would be like stupid not to pull it. Now I get that Smilegate like implemented that free one, the grindable one, in the side story event. I totally get what they're doing there. I mean, that would satisfy some things, but let's say if some not whales, not mega whales, but let's say
dolphins,
some people that spend, and maybe a bit higher than a dolphin. Let's say they got that triple S Luna on the first banner when Global released it.
Okay, so me.
Myself too. Remember we were saying that we wanted to go cry while we have some bubble tea.
Yeah.
It's all scripted, guys.
It's all scripted. I personally feel that this is like a very, I don't know, very baity thing for them to do. I don't like this. Like, like this topic has gotten me like really fired up for like the past 2 days. Like after seeing it was released like that, I was like very disappointed.
Yeah.
And then I know the community is like, the people that's citing that, hey, Luna Return is fine because, hey, there are new players that don't have it. I totally get it. Yeah. But my argument is more of, now you're baiting us, especially the old players. Let's say they do have triple S Luna.
Yeah.
You're baiting us to pull again. Now here's the tricky thing. Some people are saying that ML Luna is sort of data mined in the terms of like they have like a what's it called, like a hero ID like set for her.
Yeah. Now,
if that does happen, would Luna banner return again for Imprint? I'm not quite sure. But just this banner right now, I just feel like, because I really want more Draco plates.
Yeah.
I really want more Draco plates, but I have triple S Luna, and I don't want to, cross my fingers hoping that ML Luna comes in. So really, if I am going to pull, I really want Draco plate, but I know my luck. It's always going to be the one I don't want, that I get first. So, anyways. Oh, one thing before I stop here. So one of my guildmates, he's a free to play player. He saved up a lot. And when he saw Draco plate, he really wanted it. He ended up, I think he had 1 Luna on the original release. He ended up getting 5 Lunas, so he's triple S Luna right now. 0 Draco plate.
Oh my gosh.
He's very like upset about it. But the thing is, at least he's free to play, so he doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah.
But imagine someone that actually puts in money and they're not like, they don't own like 4 companies or something.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a bit salty. I just have to say that's
I can imagine that.
And
I'm
I can
salty right
definitely
now,
speak to
actually.
that.
What?
Yo, I actually pulled for. I was actually trying to pull for the Draco plate.
Did you already have a
And-
triple S Luna before you started, or?
I was at an S imprint. Now I'm at double S. I didn't get it at all.
Oof.
Yeah,
So,
and like
I'm
that's
done.
something we can speak to as well. Like, I remember when the last podcast I was on was with Rec, I think, right?
Yeah.
And like Rec was talking, like he spent what, like 3,800 bookmarks for one copy of Bastion of Preluda,
Yeah.
Preludia or whatever. And I don't know how much I spent, but I have 4 Lilias and I have 0. I did not get the artifacts.
Yeah.
I only got 1 copy of Drink. I think it comes down to a core issue of these limited banners, especially
Mhm.
the artifacts either should be a separate like banner,
Mhm.
or there should be a pity for both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to have these circumstances where Sledley pulls 12 Baiken for his torn sleeves.
Oh yeah.
Like
Wait, he didn't even get a triple. He didn't even max out his torn sleeve from
I think
that.
he gave
was.
up.
I think he did. He did.
He
got
no.
close-
He was.
got-
He was
I think He got
missing.
close and used a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. From what I know, he used a bottle because he was missing like 1 or something
Uh-huh.
like that after
Yeah, and-
12 Bikens. Yeah.
Yeah, like 12, like that shouldn't be a thing. I get it. Like, there's the ideal scenario would be like a non-existent pay floor. Like you don't have to pay to play this game for sure.
Right.
But for the people who are spending exorbitant amounts of money, it's beyond frustrating.
Mhm.
Even for people who may own those 4 companies, it's just annoying. It shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah. The worst part is the fact that they're limited artifacts that you have to use bottle to limit break them. You're not gonna be able to buy these artifacts in a store rotation like other artifacts. So because of that, you have to spend 240 powder. Yeah, 240 powder
Yeah.
to limit break it once.
Which is hard to do because, like, even for those of us who do spend a lot of money, when we are established in this game, we're using our powder on charms. Like,
Yeah.
we need to upgrade our artifacts. We can't really afford to always go for these bottles to max our drinks,
Mhm.
to max this Draco plate. Like, I don't know. It's a
Mhm.
bit frustrating.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I mean, like, there's definitely gonna be people that are happy and then people that are unhappy about this. Like,
Yeah.
there's 2 sides, which is granted, like, I understand, and I mean, I'm happy for the people who don't have Luna. This is great
Yep.
for them.
Yep.
For all of the rest of us, it feels like a slap in the face. That's all.
I was saying this would be even worse if you were playing on the Korean server because the first time they got Luna, they didn't have a pity system. The second time it came back, the pity system was introduced. Now the third time there's Draco played. So I would be
okay.
if I was on the Korean server,
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
I would
really.
I would rage, man.
I need to see what Master says tonight. I want to hear his rants. I'm almost granted I'm gonna hear a very mad raccoon.
Luna the 3rd time. That sucks.
That's true. The 3rd time for Luna. All right.
Yeah.
Last topic. Memory imprint changes and thoughts. Yo, why you gotta be like that?
I don't know. One of my guildmates, like some of us, a lot of us, like when we were predicting these changes, were back when they first had that big developers note
Yeah.
over some, like that is a really impactful change. Units become so much better with the self imprint. Primarily any DPS character.
Yeah.
Why do I need a group or a team-wide attack percent buff for my support units? And I am going to be bringing support units with my DPS character.
Mhm.
It went from, like, a lot of these imprints for things like Sirmia, Assassin Koli, went from useless to god tier.
Yeah.
Right.
And that introduces somewhat of a paywall, in my opinion. And I, as someone who has spent a lot of money, as someone who is in an environment with a lot of very big whales, I strongly dislike.
Mhm.
There shouldn't be There shouldn't be an almost requirements to either have a crippled version of a unit if you don't have several of them.
Yeah, like another example for me is like Judge Kisei. She's essentially her team-wide effectiveness imprint is useless originally, now being changed to attack. That's a huge boost for her, especially for
Arbiter
someone
Village
who
is the
has
exact same.
yeah, Arbiter Villager also. Like both of these units have attack percent. You know, they're great because it's great for them, but it's not great for the people who can't triple S and run into the people who do have that, because you're getting a much bigger increase that they can't hit easily at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of the heroes that that I was kind of like looking through, I think the biggest one is Charles,
Mm-hmm.
because he has crit rate for the rest of your team. And let's be honest, like if you're running a Charles, at least for the foreseeable future, on a GVG defense team, you're most likely gonna run bruisers with him.
Mhm.
And his crit rate buff for the AOE is just incredible. And then now, even for himself, he gets up to I think a 14 or 16% chance. Is super high.
Yeah.
Charles is one of the hardest heroes to gear well, and crit rate is usually probably the crippling stat that people run into. Like either you get too much crit rate and too little crit damage, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But now you can run him safely on immunity.
Yeah.
If you're gonna self imprint concentration, and then he's still gonna get like insanely high crit rate. So I feel that Charles is like probably to me the most OP imprint, both on the imprint release and the concentration. Plus that he just got his exclusive equipment, which is just nuts.
Yeah.
So these impacts are huge for every area of the competitive game.
Yeah.
So these ego fragments only getting one a week is also sort of, like,
You have to be very careful on who you use it on, I would
I
say.
have a story about that. So
Whoa,
some
boy.
backstory.
You must have.
So for some backstory, for those that don't know, I have a 198k CP Gunther.
Oh boy.
I've had him for a while.
Yep.
And I have been trying so hard to get him to 200k CP. I have been trying so hard. And I thought that, because I wanted to be the first person to have a 200k CP unit. And when they first announced the self-imprint change, I freaked. I was like, oh, heck yeah. Like, that's gonna, if it affects himself, it affects him on a stat page, just like his passive does. It's gonna be great. I am finally gonna be the first person to break 200,000 CP on a single unit. So the very beginning of this day, I log in, and the first thing I do is go to the shop, buy my ego fragment, and use it on gun. I didn't even check what it was because I thought it would be the same thing.
Oh my goodness.
I thought it would be attack percent. I'm like, 14 attack percent for Gunther? Oh, that's going to spike me to 210k CP. Oh, this is going to be amazing. So without reading, without checking, without Googling it, without doing anything, I immediately bought my ego fragment and used it on Gunther. It does nothing.
I feel so bad for you.
Even if I did use Gunther seriously in literally anywhere in the game, even then his self-imprint, his team-wide imprint is better.
Yeah.
So not only, so I hardcore wasted this week's.
Dude, I feel so bad for you. Cause
I should.
Ooh.
Yeah, I should tell you one more thing though. The imprint isn't actually. It doesn't. The CP calculation for imprints doesn't go in until you put them into a team.
Yeah.
So it won't even show even if you did.
Oh.
Exactly. Like it hardcore was the biggest waste of such a valuable resource.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason, like, I have been hard stuck at it's 198,547, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know the last 3 digits, but 198 KCP. He is plus 15. He has a plus 30 Uberius Tooth on him.
Oh man.
Uberius Tooth, which requires a crit, is on my gun. He is an exclusive CP unit.
Just for CP flex.
Just for CP. So for those that also don't know, like, I had a thing where, like, any like DPS units that I legitimately use, obviously have a real set on them. But oftentimes you'd have like I have one of my highest CP boots is a epic crit set boot, speed main stat, and it started with crit rate, attack percent, crit damage percent, and effect resistance, and it all rolled into effect resistance. And it's good for CP and it's bad for a unit. So what I would always do is for my waifu trophies, like Kisei, like Tenebria, I have a 140k CP Tenebria right now. Even though we all talked about how bad she is, I just put stuff there as trophies, and my guildmates make fun of me for it.
Hey, I respect that. Buff
Thanks.
up your waifu to look good.
Yep, I need a new ring. I need specifically a speed epic attack percent ring
To buff up that
get
CP.
there, to buff up that CP, and it needs so like right now the ring has where is it? Give me a second. I'm talking about it to relieve the pain.
This has become the podcast to share your misery.
Yeah.
Counsel me, please. But it's attack percent. It has 18 crit damage, 8 speed, 13 effectiveness. Not very usable. Well, the crit damage is okay. Not very usable outside of being a CP flex if you get high crit rate elsewhere. But yeah, F.
Well then. Who are you guys? Quick question. Who are you guys planning to use your ego fragments on right now, aside from
Not Gunther.
Tiber?
I already used it on my Arbiter Village and I don't.
Oh, you have. Okay, fair enough.
I just dropped. I had like one slate remaining, and I was like, okay, you know what? Where do I use this? The first thing I thought about was like, oh crap, I could just make my Arbiter Villager even stronger, and so I did.
I sadly used it on Luna, but I was prepping for Luna showcase video since the newer player is probably looking for builds and whatnot. But
Okay.
I don't really regret it because I do use Luna quite a bit on offensive, like just being a nuker.
Yeah.
Cypher Render has a good question in chat. Do you think this will affect high-end GVG badly? I don't think so. Since ego fragments are such a hot resource right now, people are mostly going to be investing it into their offensive units. A Koli being one, Euphenia I can see being another. Charles would come after that probably, and Arbiter Village up there too. So in high-end guild wars, everyone's stats are amazing. Like your units are geared very, very well if you choose to bring them into a guild war. If you shouldn't be losing an offense. You really shouldn't be losing an offense. And if you do, it probably wasn't a gear check. It was probably a problem with your team composition, or it was RNG, or which happens a lot in life. You brought an ungeared unit, you brought the wrong artifact, etc., etc., etc. I can't tell you how much my blood pressure rises when they're like, "Lol, Drew, I forgot no boot on the end." I'm just like,
rank number 2. Rank number 2 guild, by the way. Yo,
guild, by the way, life is recruiting.
that actually sounds like a guild for me now.
Yeah, I do that a lot actually.
Damn.
We've all been there. It's happened to me too.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, like, so offense and high-end GVG is where these imprint changes are affecting you the most.
Yeah.
Defensive units, like things that give self HP percent, like they're not going to get the ego fragment for a long time.
Yeah.
So defense units aren't going to get it, unfortunately.
I'm thankful there's no self-speed imprint, at least.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful there isn't such a thing on an OP unit. Like, if they gave it to someone where it wouldn't impact as much, I'm okay. But, like, I'm really thankful there's nothing like that on Sid, Oxlots, Assassin Coley, or any unit that utilizes high speed.
I don't think it's on any unit at all. Actually, I think I double checked.
Yeah, there was. I didn't see any.
There was a lot that we saw more so of like just like attack percent and everything else. 3 stars literally only having effectiveness.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm curious to see how this goes. The Wardian mention something which, it's true. Right now, because we're so early on with this, ego fragments are very valuable. Over time, the value of them will drop since we're gonna, there's only so many units we have imprinted that we're probably gonna use this on. Eventually, we're gonna end up having all of them released, and at that point, ego fragments won't matter as much. The moment a new unit comes out, we triple S, we can release the imprint right away.
Very true.
So, but like right now, probably I would say for the first like couple of weeks, it's gonna be a little bit more imperative, like depending on who you, especially like I'm really struggling this week on who to use it on, because there's one guild versus guild tomorrow. I kind of care, kind of don't care as much. Last arena push is this Sunday. Do I rather use my ego fragment on someone for arena, or do I use it for someone on Guild Wars now?
Waifu. A Coley. A Coley.
That's why I did Gunther.
That's okay. That's a strange waifu.
Oh, what are you talking about?
That's
Don't judge me.
I mean, I'm not judging too much. Just
Orb asks, MLKen has an effect resistant self-imprint. What do you guys think of that? I mean, it's one of those things where you would do it way down the line, because MLKen is primarily a defense unit, and I don't know, like I don't personally think MLKen is very impactful in a Guild War setting. He's typically paired, the only hard variant I see nowadays is MLKen, Arbiter Vildred, Lilias.
Yeah.
And yes, you have to have both. Or the other meta defense with that is MLKen, Ruel, and Akol.
Akol, yeah. I've seen
Double
that one.
105.
Yeah, freaking.
So those defenses are very meta. Though we see those a lot in upper level Guild Wars.
Man, I really hate the fact that I don't have a little bit.
F. Oh, you don't know? Oh, F. Just pull a spez, easy, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me just whip. Do you know how long it took me to get my first ML5, bro?
F.
Jesus.
F. And it was on your ult, right? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, my ult got 2 ML5s before my main even got one.
I'm sorry.
What's the one you have?
Oh no, I have more now on my main.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't pull my.
It says pull her. Yeah. Come on, Gabe, just pull.
Yeah.
It only takes 5 bookmarks.
True. Fun fact, that's what I did for Violet. I did not pull on his banner. I didn't pull on Charles, Crow, and Violet back in the day. And my guildmates made fun of me because they're like, "Oh, I'm noticing a trend. You didn't pull for the guys, huh?"
So now you pull for
yeah.
So now you waifu'd Gunther. I see where this came from.
No, this is the beginning of the whole Violet Kayron meta, and because there was the pressure to be competitive back then.
Yeah.
I spammed bookmarks and I said I will not stop until I get Violet.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I got like 12 nat 5s that day, and the last one was Violet. So
wow.
That was a depressing day. But depressing day for Wallet Kun, but a good day for the account.
Wow. All right. Well, today's podcast went on for pretty long because of mainly essentially just going through the units itself. But I felt like it was pretty good. Thank you guys for joining me on the podcast tonight. Jagan, Tiber, Panshui. I always appreciate it.